Hey, entrepreneurs. Denise Klein here with Klein Virtual. And today I want to talk about, do you have a calling? Now, I know it's kind of a deep subject for a Wednesday morning, which is when I'm recording this, but this is something that's been rattling around in my mind for a while. And I don't know if this will resonate with you, but um, anytime I hear things like follow your bliss or find joy, for a long time I just frankly I rolled my eyes. Not gonna lie, I'm an eye roller. And I realized now that was a defense mechanism because it just didn't make sense to me. I thought, okay, well, Oprah has a calling, you know, Mother Teresa has a calling. Um, but I just couldn't see that for myself. Now, don't get me wrong. I felt like I wasn't in the right place. I felt like in every job I've ever had, I'm always felt like I was trying to fit into their box, right? I was trying to conform myself to what it was that they needed, and I kept looking for jobs where I could be myself, where I could use all of my skills, and I couldn't find that. And last year in the spring, that was in 2022, I finally decided to start a business. Now, I have wanted to have my own business for well more than 20 years. And there were a lot of fears and things that kept me from doing that. And I will do another video on that aspect of things. But when I sat down last spring, I really sat down and I said to myself, for the first time, really, I think as an adult, and I asked myself, what do I want? Now, what do I want have to do with having a calling? Well, I don't think you can find your calling or identify it if you don't ask what you want, because I kind of think they're related, maybe even one and the same. I'm not an expert in this. I'm just telling you what my experience was. So last spring, I was working in the mortgage industry. I had left teaching in 2020 amidst the pandemic, and I knew that I was not in the right job. I knew I was not in the right space, but I didn't know what I wanted. And so I sat down. I'd like to say I sat down with pen and paper, but I'm techie. So I opened a Google Doc and I started typing. And so I sat down and I typed, what do I want? And I just let myself type. I didn't edit. And you have to understand that's a big deal for me. I can't even text without an uppercase and a period. I'm a teacher. I have to do that. And I just let myself write. What do I want? And I just let anything and everything out. And what came from that exercise was, well, it was surprising and kind of right on. So the three things that came from that were that I want to create, I want to teach, and I want to serve. So when I asked myself what I wanted, I knew I was asking about in my job, in my career, in my business, that I knew I wanted to start a business. And so I really thought, what kind of people do I want to work with? What kind of work would I want to do? And I wrote out a lot of things, but the overarching themes were I want to create, I want to teach, and I want to serve. So I want to talk about what each of those means to me and how it's affecting and showing up in my business now over a year later. So create to me, when I think create, I think, okay, painting, sculpting, poetry, beautiful things. And unfortunately, I don't have any of those talents, or maybe I do. I've never tried them, but I've never really thought of myself as a creative person. I've always been kind of practical and not terribly expressive. And that's changed a lot in this last year as well. But when I was a teacher, I loved creating beautiful spaces and I loved creating opportunities for kids to learn and creating resources for them. And that was when I started realizing, oh no, I'm a lot more creative than I thought. And now in my business, I'm creating videos. I'm creating webinars. I'm creating a community. And so for create, to me, it really means a lot of different things. And so what's pulling me now in the create space is creating education opportunities, creating opportunities to connect with myself and with other people, and creating opportunities. So create really shows up in a lot of different ways. And I think that's why it's first on my list. The next one is teach. And I am a teacher. I have always been a teacher. When my mom would babysit other kids when I was little, I would teach them how to read or teach them to tie their shoes. When I was in real estate, I taught real estate agents some, I did relocation training, and I did some like sales contract training and things like that, and a little bit of coaching. And then after the recession, the last one in 2008, I went back to school and got my degree to go and teach, and of course, teaching students. And I'll just say it, there's nothing like the magic that is kindergarten and English language learners. And we'll talk about that in another video. But I am a teacher. And when I started my business last year, I did not start a virtual assistant business. I actually started a bookkeeping business, and we'll do another video about why that was not the right choice. But I pivoted my business over time, in part because as I was going out into the community and I was attending a seminar, or there's some local events where there were people teaching and talking in front of us, I was like, just so pulled. I'm like, I want to contribute in that way. That's what teaching is a contribution, and giving someone resources and help them change perspective and gain clarity and that sort of thing. And that's what teaching is to me. And I have to do it. I can't explain it. I am pulled to do it. So if I had to say one thing is my calling, it is teaching. But create, teach, and serve all go together for me. So let's talk about the serving part. I am a firm believer that if you help enough other people get what they want, that you get what you want to. And being of service, being part of something that is outside of myself, that is bigger than me, there is deep meaning there for me. And I need to do work that is being of service to others. That's just part of my DNA. And I think that's really intertwined with the teaching part, because I really feel like those go hand in hand. Now, obviously, my business is a service-based business, and that's a big part of it as well. I want to be of value to other people. I want to contribute. And so the idea of supporting entrepreneurs and helping them grow their businesses, it's thrilling to me. And so that's the part of being a virtual assistant that I love. So as I'm sitting here a year later, having pivoted from bookkeeping now to virtual assistant work, it has not been a straight line, but the straight line that runs through it is create, teach, and serve. So I have no idea what my business is going to look like a month from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. Okay, I have an idea. I know what direction I want to go in. But honestly, I'm not tied to that outcome. I'm here to create, to teach, and to serve. And as I have ideas that fall into that lane, that's what I'm doing. So I'm wondering, for you, inside of your business, do you have a calling? Do you have something that pulls you and drives you through your work, whatever that work might be? Because I really think create, teach, and serve, I really think I could have done any number of businesses, and probably will. I'm going to be a serial entrepreneur, I'm sure of it. So, but that is who I am at the core. So I'm wondering, for you, do you have that? Have you sat down and asked yourself, what do you want? What do you want in your business? What do you want in your life? I'd be very curious to see what you have to say. Okay, that's enough of me babbling for today. I thank you for coming and spending this time. And remember, any changes that you want to make, just take small moves, small steps, little momentum. That's all you need. I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.